Again. Charlie Greer podcast again. Today, Euclid Salvage Outlet. Well, you might be pondering, what? Who? So, Euclid Salvage Outlet was the name of my grandfather's corporation. And we were DBA, doing business as Alexander's Antiques. Nobody knew about Euclid Salvage Outlet. It wasn't like, Alexander's Antiques. That's what you want to do. For one, when you're corporate, we're antiques. See, a salvage outlet can be damn near anything. You can people that know about salvage outlets will know exactly what I'm talking about. You could be we collect trash, we sell this, we're an outlet of salvage outlet. So nobody knew. So if they're gonna and everything was in the Euclid Salvage Outlet. You come to sue us, the Alexander's Antique. What are you going to get? A bank account with $1,000 in it or some shit? Again, a DBA, doing business as. You can go to the bank. A lot of banks, you got to have like an account for a year. Sometimes they can right off the bat. You can DBA account. And in Missouri, I don't know about it now, but it was the only state in the union where you couldn't, they come after you. They couldn't find out what the corporate. They just got the DBA. What do you think everything's incorporated out of Missouri? Watch Casino, man. Everything's that whole town, all those. They're incorporated out of Missouri. All those casinos. Why would they do that? Because they can do a DBA account, multiple DBA. Just hey, take a page out of my grandfather's book. He did this in the 40s. How he knew how to do this, I don't know. Had a good lawyer. So Euclid Salvage Outlet. DBA, doing business as Alexander's Antiques. Alexander's Antiques was on, well, first we were down by the river. Then he was on Euclid in the Central West End for decades. And everybody knew my grandfather. Everybody bought everybody had shit in their house from us. Right there on Euclid in the Central West End. It's a shame what's happened to the Central West End. Granted, I ain't been there in forever, but it used to be awesome. And he lived on Lindell in the Tremore Castle. The Tremore Castle it's nice. Google the lobby of the Tremore Castle. It's just all marble and shit. When I was a kid, I'd go down there. There was a little store too off the lobby. If you're looking at the lobby, picture of the lobby up by the elevators, they had like a store. You have to leave, I tell me, go get some cigarettes and whatever he needed. Fuck Southern Comfort, whatever. You could tell them to stock shit for you. And his place was, it was big, but it wasn't that heavy. It was a 2-bedroom, but it also, they had a maid's quarters in the back, like near the kitchen. I wanted it too. After he passed, I was like, I want to live there. I want that. No, see, somebody else got it. So he named it Euclid Salvage Outlet because he was on Euclid. Don't throw the stone too far. We're on, what do you call it? We're on Euclid Salvage Outlet. We need a salvage outlet. Because we could do anything there. We could buy and sell. See, when you corporate, like you're a guitar company, you can't there's corporate laws and shit. You can't be selling cars if you're a guitar company or whatever. But if you're a salvage outlet, well, you're just salvaging everything. We're an outlet for salvage. Like there's everything salvage, shit. Everything in your house is salvage. And so we would buy out estates. We do shit. Probate lawyers. That's everybody that came to us. See, I got to learn early. I grew up around this. So I was like knee high to a grasshopper. Like I didn't get a lot of it too, and I didn't want to know. I didn't understand. Scary people, I thought. Now, I had to. So I managed our store from 94 to 98, 6 days a week, working for your family, which is kind of, fuck. They were 6 days a week I worked. Had Sundays off every day but Sunday. And of course I had perks, man. Believe me, I had some perks and a company car. And, honestly, I had anything I wanted. I had keys to apartments and all kinds of, it was awesome. I got schooled in those 4 years, man. It was like, getting a PhD and how the world operates. Federal judges and all kinds of people in the store, everybody in the store. And it's a shame what happened to St. Louis. We were on Merrimack. Our Alexander's Antiques was on Merrimack, which is like, near Grand and Merrimack. Giuseppe's. Oh my God, I love Giuseppe's. On Friday, the baked whitefish. Oh shit. Every Friday. Just get us as many as you can get, Cool. My grandfather's friends, I think technically it's a social club, maybe restaurant. I'm not really sure you just can't just mosey up on in there. I don't think. Maybe now. And that area's went bad. And that's why I left it. I was living in St. Louis and running the store when I moved to LA because the neighborhood was just going to friggin'. My mom and I tried to it's the Flora building. That was our building. There was actually 2 or 3 buildings. It was grandfathered in. See, I mean, if it wouldn't have been, it went so bad. And we tried to, hell, a few years back, it went and they'd fix some stuff up and it went up on auction for like $30,000. We're talking about a big building, man. It's got a freight elevator in it and shit. I mean, maybe they tore that stuff out. It's got 2 basements and, offices above, and it's crazy. 30 grand. Bad area. Like it went bad. Like I'm talking about one of the worst. Dangerous. 30 grand. I was like, shit, we should. And it didn't, nobody bought it. It was at auction. There's like nobody. Oh, yeah. And in the building on Euclid, I don't even know what that is, if it's even there. Last time I heard it was like a pharmacy or something. But Euclid Salvage Outlet, my grandfather after World War II he used to be a bootlegger. I was going to be honest here, but he had a good ring. He went to military school. I mean, my great grandfather was a banker. His father in Franklin, Tennessee. We're all a bunch of hillbillies from Tennessee. The story goes he moved to St. Louis to get away from his reputation. He had some bootlegging money and World War II money, whatever he had. And it was tough at first. He was down on Broad, like in the red light. He had to live in the first store. And he got robbed. He had to shoot people and shit. That's just. One time he was asleep on the store, and dude came in with a sledgehammer, just bam, he had to shoot him. I didn't die, but the cops, they followed the blood till they found the dude stumbling. And he lived. They took him to the hospital. He lived. And then he did that enough to save up to get a building. That's why he lived there, because he was like, look, I just want to have my own building, be my own person, whatever. And he fucking Central West End. That's when it was the shit to be in Central West End. Again, people forget. And Central West End, again, it went bad. I don't know about now, but man, it was rough. I used to love to go to the store in the 70s and 80s. When there's an old hotel on the same side of the street, my grandfather down the street there, like a block or so away, that we'd stay at, my mother and my sister. This old, cool, had a cafe in the bottom, and the rooms weren't like, they were kind of small, but they just looked cool. They were like, they used to make shit better. Everything looked like, I don't know. Had a pool. I loved the pool there. We'd be swimming. And of course, my grandfather, you get to the store, he's going to make you work. I say, come here, you can look around a bit. And now we're going to have you follow Irish Tom or Big Bill or whoever. And they're just like rubbing your head and laughing, And then when I got to in 94, Love Engineer was like breaking up. Everything was kind of, what? So my mom was like, hey man, your grandfather, he's not doing that well. He's gonna leave you part of his estate. I was like, what? Huh? Me, he's got, what about all your brothers and sisters and everybody, Now he wants to talk to you. All right. So I just grab my shit, move to St. Louis. I pull in to St. Louis, go to the store, and it's busy. My mom's there, my grandfather, and they're like, "Oh, we already got you an apartment." They're there now, filling it up with all the furniture, everything you need. Really? Can I go see it? Well, yeah. When they come back for the second load, we're gonna. And man, they already had it, like with couches and a king bed, and I wasn't like, in my mind, like, wow, like I was just in a brownstone on Minnesota, which is, and it was close. The reason they wanted me, and that neighborhood was going bad in the 90s too. I had to be close to the store. So if somebody robbed it, I had to, the code, and I had to, get struck by lightning, which it did. And people robbed the place and everything. You got to get up in the middle of the night and meet the cops and whoever. I was the only one that lived in the city, basically. Well, my grandfather lived on Euclid, but that's nice. I mean, there was security there. My mom lived in Holly Hills, which is like a nice area. It was, I don't know how it is now, but it was, they made it kind of out of the Hollywood, and I had to go meet with my grandfather at the Traymore Castle. I had long hair, he's like, you gotta cut your hair, whoa, like, yeah, some serious stuff. Like, no, you gotta be a man. You gotta, this is I kind of didn't want to, but then again, it's like, I love my grandfather. I also had enough foresight to realize that how people treated him and how he was respected, and everybody, how they treated me, because they knew, well, this is Red Alexander. They called him Red Alexander. This is Red Alexander's grandson. People like, whoa, what did you tell Red that shit? I could get away with anything. I didn't take advantage though. I'm not one of those, oh yeah, no, played it off. I didn't want people to like, don't tell them. We're gonna know. Everybody's gonna know. Every cop in town knows who you are. Good. They can leave me alone. But I was like, why did you pick me? Because I became the vice president of the corporation. Like, what? Vice president of the corporation? Shit. Like, I don't, I was just working at a surplus store, and I was in a band, a beer band, basically. We were just a drunken, loud, He's like, yeah, we'll see. Everybody else had been elbow deep in the cash register. That's what he said. Because you've never asked me for anything. You never stole anything. You're doing your own thing. You got some ingenuity. Your band did well. And he apologized. Like, look, I wish I would have supported your band. I wish I'd have, he had cancer by then. And he was, I was like, it's all good. He was cool. But he had some regret. Like, oh man, But then again, if it wasn't a bit, that's why I did so well. Because I had to just, I wasn't going to think about, well, if you help, no. And I wasn't trying to prove anything. It's just I got to stand on my own. But that's what he told me, you were not elbow deep in my cash register. I'm his grandkid. He's talking to me like a, and then he gave me some stuff, stack of money and, all these other things. Go talk to someone. Yeah, you got to meet that. Got rid of that car. I had a 1972 Plymouth Satellite, spray painted black, spray painted like flames on the part of the hood with customized Leonard Skinner license plate that I had to pay because I wanted something that stuck out. I was a singer and love engineer. I got it. I had to be, I didn't have to be, but I thought, and it was funny. In fact, I traded that for a van or something. Anyway, got to get rid of that. And that's the first time in my life where I actually got like independently away from just about everything. But my family was there, but I bought a 1969 Malibu Super Sport. I had every kind of cool guitar and vintage amp, and I wasn't really into jewelry, which I should have been. I should have just, gold and diamonds didn't really, my Uncle Archie ran the South County Pawn or something. He had a pawn shop. I could go to Uncle Archie and, hey, I bought smoke machines and all kinds of crazy shit. Even before I moved there, in Love Your Days. I said, Archie, I need some band. I got all kinds of shit. Come on in. And he did me a solid. He gave me for like $100. I left there with every kind of smoke machine and fan, stage fan, and all of it, man. Good times. I am so fortunate and lucky that I got that I was had a grandfather with the wherewithal to, he was tough, man. I mean, he had, a lot of tough love. He'd set your ass straight. Yeah, shit. He wouldn't no fucking around. And sometimes I'd have to wait in line. I'd get there, and he had like a little, foyer lobby in his little apartment, and he would have the barber that he'd sit in his chair. They'd be cutting his hair. He'd have the priest come up and give him his whatever. I'm like, damn, I'm his grandson. I got to wait in line for all these. I guess. Who are you? Like, I'm the grandson. Oh, well, see. There's some shit I wish I could say. One of these days I'll write a book. But see, I was insecure about that world. I'd never, again, I'm an artist. I'm a musician. I'm not I can handle a bar fight, band shit. Survived a lot of that. But some St. Louis street shit, fuck me. That's what got me. That's why I could walk around in LA. Because I'd already had a little bit of, grit, a little patina. It's all in the eyes. People, it's your, that's how you didn't know. Just kind of being, you just become. You don't even realize what's going on. But also, even the dudes that were our crew, we had a crew, guys that we had a big truck, box truck. And the guys when I got there, the main two were Big Bill and Irish Tom. Irish Tom came from County Mayo, Ireland. It only worked for my grandfather for like fucking 30, 40 years. Big Bill had been there since for about 30 years. Loved my grandfather. These are serious people, Big Bill and Irish Tom. Okay. Big Bill was a Golden Gloves boxer, Broadway Athletics Club, trained with the Spinks back in the day, Leon and Michael Spinks. When I first got there, though, they wouldn't even talk to me because they didn't know. For one, they know who is this? Because they'd been around other family. My grandfather had a lot of kids, and the grandkid, and then I'm a rocker. But I kept my mouth shut. I realized, like, look, man, I can't. Because next thing you know, I was the manager of the store. Like, man, I cannot manage these. I'm not gonna try. I'm not gonna have any authority. I'm not gonna be like, no, look, now see, there's a new. No, you guys tell me what to do. Because again, nepotism, and you can't be, I just because I didn't know. How are you gonna be peacocking around and trying to be authoritative when you don't even know what a probate lawyer is? I mean, seriously, I didn't know. I was in a band. I was 23, man. In 94, I was 23 years old. I had a shit ton of, responsibility all of a sudden. Well, meeting with the accountants and the lawyers and go here, go there, get a sign this, take a bank a deposit. What? There's these corporate papers. I don't even know what the fuck I'm signing. There's got no telling what I didn't know. Schooled me, like right off the bat. And I had every kind of, man, I had my wardrobe alone because we would get people, again, it's people's estates. These are rich people, just Dobb hats and just everybody. And all my friends too, in Champaign, Urbana, like, hey, come to the store. To this day, they're probably strutting around and shit I gave them. They come to St. Louis, but see, they quit coming because I'd take them to some wild, the city. Like, oh, you think in Champaign, huh? Well, let me take you. No, he's dangerous. Well, wasn't me. I just took you to a little bit of the world, the casinos and riverfront casinos. There's a law. Like it's got to be on the river. It's like a riverboat casino. And when they first opened in the 90s, you could drink for free if you were gambling. So we just go to the nickel slots and just like, hey, playing nickel slots. And then the guy caught on to that. Like, bro, we're cutting you off. And then you could only stay on for like 2 hours or something. And you get right back in line. They let you off and you get right back in line. And I used to I had my apartment on Minnesota, and I was still in band mode. For that first year, I had to do Love Engineer gigs, and people were playing. My old band was playing in St. Louis, everybody. And I got all these cots from the store, and I'd keep them in a closet. So, dude, these bands there'd be cots everywhere. There'd be like 12 people in my apartment. And sometimes it was so packed, they had their band van. They would stay in the van, like they had bed, whatever, and they would just be parked on the street. Like, be careful. This isn't, Champaign, Urbana. It's people they're gonna try to get in you're gonna knock, see if anybody's in. They're gonna try to steal your van. They were trying to steal my Malibu Super Sport, 1969 Malibu Super Sport, awesome. And I caught him, and the guy had a brick, and he was gonna bust out my window to try to steal it. And I had a kill switch in there, and I also had one of those arms on the steering wheel, but that arm ain't nothing. It's that kill switch. They didn't know where it was at. That thing ain't gonna start without me. Click. I knew, actually it was behind the glove compartment. You had to reach in and hit this button. And I said, don't do it. I was damn near had him. And man, he broke. So it was a hard top, and there's the window, but then there's a quarter glass, it was called. It was for the back people in the back seat, and when you rolled it down, it went like this, And it's one of those that had like the metal on that. It's old, Bam! He hits the brick through the quarter glass. You could replace that quarter glass. Now you got to know a junkyard or somewhere, a place that And I got it. Like it's like, what? You were caught already. Why do you still have to bust my window? And he got away. And the cops show up, and these St. Louis City cops, like the beat cops. And I knew them, and they were always busting balls. And I go, well, what the hell should I do? And this old jaded cop, and it was funny. He was, hey, why don't you start by sweeping up this glass in the street? Like, oh, yeah, thanks. We're laughing. Like, we're not going to find that guy. He probably won't be alive tomorrow if he keeps doing what he's doing. I mean, shit. Then I had to go hunting for a quarter glass. And I found it like in Oklahoma. I had to get it shipped. It cost me like $300. Back then, that's a lot of money for a little quarter glass. Then you got to find somebody that knows how to, of course, Big Bill knew how to. So getting robbed. We had a buzzer on the door. Like when you pulled up in Alexander's, you couldn't get in. And that was underneath the desk. You look and see if they look okay. And you hit it, and they could come in. And dudes with ski masks, 2 shotguns. It's like, are you kidding me? It's scary. People in the store. They ran. They took off. We found out who it was. One of them called from jail, prison. Like, you ever got one of those calls? This is a collect call from this prison. Do you accept? And dude, it's me. Okay, I'll accept it. I'm sorry. Like, he changed his life. So it's like, okay, hey, I know. It's fine. I mean, shit. I'm like, for one of these phone calls are recorded, don't say, and I'd known him. He was a tough dude. But while you get down, you get on drugs, you're drunk, whatever. Maybe he was made to, who knows what was going on. Because some of that, after my grandfather, see, things changed when he died. Then everybody thought we got all soft and, just, well, Red's gone. We could now. No. I mean, financially, that's what you think my grandfather warned me. But at least I got out. Nobody got hurt. Financially, we lost a lot. We used to have, all that's gone. It's sad to think. But again, it's best to just like, okay, take it. Just we're talking about like channels of income. Like, we had it on the probate lawyer. Everybody wanted that. Everybody wanted our phone number. Everybody wanted everything. And I was like, well, we should sell it all and retire. No, we got to fight. No. I'm gonna fight. And she did. She fought for, she had lawsuits. And I was like, I'm jumping off this sinking ship. I'm going to LA. And I can't take it, man. The thrill is gone. There's no money in it for one. The store, that neighborhood has went to shit. This old building needs a little bit of, how much dude, it was just to keep the store open and the insurance for the everything. Like when people walk in your door, you gotta have insurance. So if they slip, if they sue you, and just the lights on and stuff back in the 90s, midnight, $7,000 a month minimum just to keep the lights on. And that's a lot back then. $7,000. And that's not your own rent and shit and payroll and all that other stuff and money to buy things to put in the store. No, that's just so by the time I was like 23, 24, I was there for 4 years, 6 days a week. I had to, deal with other shit that people don't to this day probably haven't. I had to deal with some heavy responsibility as a young man and learn. Again, looking back, I'm like, wow, I'm grateful that I have that knowledge and that gave me, people can just tell, especially other people that know about shit. They can tell how you just hold yourself. You can't fake that. They know I'm not looking for approval. Hi, I didn't, none of that. And I'm not a tough guy, man. I'm an artist, man. I'm a lover, not a fighter. I mean, shit. There's always someone bad. And I'm not into that. I don't want to be, no. I don't want any dark thoughts. I want happy rainbows and lollipops kind of shit. But I had to. It's like the family. I had to do it. And I wish I know this sounds crazy, but I wish I'd have stole every damn gold ring and nickel that was laying around. I'd be rich right now, but I was honest. I didn't do it. Now, knowing what I know now, man, I should have just sat on a chair of gold nickels or something. I had the opportunity to. And handling expensive shit. The strange thing is the most expensive thing I ever had in my hands were linens. Fucking linens at nuns back in the 1800s or 17, like the royal family, who knows? Tea stain linen. My mom, a Tupperware, like this is worth like how many hundreds of thousands of shit. People come close the store and have backup people and their security and this, dealing with like the heir to the 7-Up Corporation. I ain't gonna name her name, but we'd lock this shit down. She had security, shit. We could do like a good year in 1 hour if she showed up. The good old days. And we also were known that we were honest. That's another thing. Our grandfather, we were honest. You could trust us. If we went into an estate, the family could go through once we and pick what they want. But once we signed that paperwork in the contract, it was like, you guys can't come back in. If we're pulling this estate, or if we do an estate sale, we did estate sales. Y'all can't be around, oh, that was the couch my mother used to lay on. Again, we get that. You can take the couch if you want it, whatever. But we were also cool. If we found stuff, because people always hide. You think you ain't gonna die? Yeah, well, they don't know about that Spaniard hat that you got stuck up in the attic in your little secret that's worth a fortune. We'd find that and be like, hey, we found, and they'd be like, yeah, good thing you did, because we knew it was there, and we knew we were gonna find, we found everything. And we would give back to these lawyers, these probate lawyers and the family. These families are, the coolest stuff. And I had to pick, well, I mean, granted, there'd be nice cars that I wanted, I couldn't have, I had to buy my own. But I want this, I want that, everything. Just clothing and any kind of, if there was guitars, if it was anything, I would, stereo equipment. Well, Big Bill liked the stereo equipment. I like guitars. I forget what Irish Tom was into. And there's some stories I could tell about my uncles and stuff back before I was even born, when they worked for him, and they would, but we were hard work, It didn't, and then we'd have people come in and help us, like cash. We'd pay them cash for the week or whatever that day. Sometimes people work for a day. We had to pull out an estate, and we were fast. We could pull that estate out like bam, hard work. I mean, like shit, pulling on this thing is like a nice house, big. You got to pull all that shit out. And then we do what's called a buyout. We have a guy like, look, you can keep the rest of the couches and whatever the hell's here, the cat, with some of this stuff we'd leave. You got to clean it out, clean everything out. Sweep, mop, dust, make it nice for the realtors, and you can have all this shit. And there was a dude that had been doing that, like a symbiotic relationship. He did that for decades with us. Loved us. How he became a millionaire. At one time on paper, it looked like I had a lot of money, but I didn't. It was the corporation with Euclid Salvage Outlet. And I wouldn't, I couldn't go sign a check. For one, my mom was the president of the corporation. I was vice president. We had to have for both our names on certain things. And she kind of didn't like, you got to sign this. And there's no telling what I signed. Those corporate, but we had a checkbook, big leather bound fucking, Oh, and the accountant, I think, had to sign on certain things too or something. I don't even know. I forget. But that has taught me that, like, that's what you do. You corporate in Missouri. You do a DBA account, whatever it is, and just go about your day. More people need to get into business. More people need to start their own businesses. Sell tomatoes. Who knows? Just do something. You don't have to corporate to do that. Hell, you don't have to corporate to do a DBA. You might, because I've had my own corporations. I've had Darting Oxcart Film Co. That was corporated. I had Dumb Ghetto Skateboards. That was a corporation. I've had shit. Spent money. You got to hire lawyers, and they got to, and do quarterly meetings. And I didn't. Yeah, I'd have to brush up on all that corporate stuff. I haven't done it in a while. But I loved my grandfather. I loved Euclid Salvage Outlet. I don't even know if I should be talking about. Hey, well, it's dead. Nobody. The building is barely. We don't own anything. Yeah, good times. And this might be a recurring theme too. Talking about this because I can't. The more I maybe I need. I have a beer in me because this is in the morning. I'm totally sober. It's 9:02 in the a.m. I ain't smoked no weed. Nothing. I get up here. I'm drinking coffee. And I just start ranting. I hope you enjoy it. But I do this every day, y'all. I love you. Be blessed. See you tomorrow. Cheers.